Hey y'all, this is Southern Woods here. Welcome back to another video. If I look kind of tired or like I'm not feeling great, it's because I'm not. Lately, I have not been sleeping well at all. Couple that with I've been hitting the gym extra hard trying to get those physical gains. I'm extra sore and I'm not recuperating or healing properly because again, I haven't been sleeping much. So my pain and suffering waking up has led me to this moment where I decided to do a video covering the worst injuries and ailments I've had in my young life. Thankfully, there hasn't been anything too seriously, or I haven't been plagued by injury and illness most of my life. So very thankful for that. I know there's a lot of people going through it, so I don't want to downplay anything else that's happened to other people. However, most injuries and ailments have a story to tell, and they're interesting to talk about. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail today, but maybe I'll do a podcast episode going into more detail with maybe Tim or Anthony, Declan, since we've all been fucked up before, right? So let's begin with the worst injury that I've had, in my opinion, and that's the time in middle school where I broke both my arms at the same time. We were hiking, me, my father, and my brother. We were almost back to the car, and there's like this ditch or ravine, I'd say, and I was like, I'm going to jump across it. And I went to jump across it, my foot got caught on a vine, and I ended up Hulk smashing a rock and breaking both my arms. Fully breaking one and fracturing the other, to be exact, and I also had like a stick lodged up the roof of my mouth. So I was pretty fucked up, and that's a whole different video that I could get into. And that sucked. The first 3 or 4 days, I was in a double sling, looking like I was in an insane asylum. And then for 2 to 3 months, I was in a double cast. By far the worst because very long lasting, and I still have sometimes have trouble with my left arm. Like I can feel the pain, like if I'm lifting heavy things, so it lingers slightly. My worst ailment, I would say, so not like a physical injury, but more like an illness, is the time where I had a really nasty lymph node infection in my lower lymph nodes, so the groin area. They ended up being very swollen and infected. Who the fuck knows how? However, it left me literally immobilized. I couldn't walk. That's how painful it was. And that happened for, a couple weeks before I was able to get my hands on some medicine and heal up. I wouldn't wish that on the majority of people. That's a whole different type of pain and suffering right there. So the lymph node's important. Lower or upper or middle, I don't know. So that fucking sucked. And those two injuries and ailments are by far the worst. The others are more minor, but there's some to cover, I'd say. I've fucked up my knees a couple times. Nothing drastic. The first time I was playing tackle football when I was younger in the yard, but I got tackled in the road and all the weight and force went onto my knee. That hurt. I was limping around for about a week. The worst knee injury I had happened 4 years ago now, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. Me and the boys, we were either in St. Simon or Jekyll Island down on the Georgia coast, battling some waves, right? Just fucking around the waves. And I was going to hop over this big one, and one of my legs stayed planted in the sand. So the wave pushed it all the way in the opposite direction. And honestly, in the moment, I really thought I fucking tore my ACL. Like, it was immediate, excruciating pain. I was wallowing around in the water like a fucking half-beached whale, hollering, no one to help me for minutes, until either Anthony or Nathan finally noticed me and helped me onto shore. And honestly, the next half hour, it was just as excruciating. I could barely move my legs. So I really thought I tore something. I thought this is the end of my career right here. So much for, the Blitzball tournament that we may or may not be having real soon. Or any backyard sports for that matter. I'm retired. However, after a few hours, I was able to kind of walk around, hobble around a little bit, which doesn't mean anything because some people can tear an ACL and still kind of run, damaging it further. However, it was just a real bad hyperextension at the end of the day, and after a few weeks, I was pretty much all good to go. Scary nonetheless. Regarding scrapes, cuts, abrasions, wounds, whatever, something of that sort. This elbow, you can barely see it now, but that red area is a scar from when I was younger, going full speed down a hill on a scooter and wiping out and sliding, who knows, 10 feet or so on my elbow while the neighbor watched while I got up, tears rolling down my eyes, bleeding down my arm. Still got a small scar, but that was just that. The other elbow, you can see these 2 dots, is when I fell on some broken glass, and that left those scars. So both my elbows have scars from me falling down. The klutz I am, and breaking my arms, same thing. And I cracked my head open when I was real young because me and my brother were horse playing, and I hit my head on the corner of the wall. So I just fall down a lot and fuck up my shit. Another time, I cut my thumb wide open because on the night before a hunting trip, I was trying to put an extra hole in the belt loop of the belt I had because I was getting too damn fat, and I slit my thumb right open. And shout out to like those bleed stop powders. I highly recommend them. They work very well for minor to mild wounds. My dad has gashed himself a few times and has used bleed stop to really help things out. So pick some up at your local store, or I guess online, since we're in this day and age, right? Very fortunate that I haven't been burnt bad. All right. My prayers and thoughts go out to all the real bad, severe burn victims, whether that be chemical or fire. I know that fucking sucks. And the worst burn I had was fucking melted wax from a Capri Sun straw getting dripped on me. It left a fucking scar, though. Hold on. Where the fuck is it? You can barely see it on this lighting, but there's a small scar right there. Not the manliest scar to show off. But I think that's probably about it, honestly. I've had some other minor things. Everyone hiking or running in the woods has rolled their ankle pretty bad before. Jammed my fingers on basketballs and footballs. But overall, I've stayed fairly injury-free, fairly, sickness-free most of my life. So very fortunate, and hopefully I won't have any big ones to share with y'all in the future at all. But, did break my arms at the same time and get immobilized by a lymph node infection. But that's the worst of it. So if you want to hear more detailed stories, especially the broken arm one, that one's a pretty good one. Let me know. Hit me with that like button. If you want to get a podcast episode set up about this topic, I could bring, Anthony, Tim, Declan, whoever along. We've all, had injuries, and there will be, I'm sure, plenty of stories to tell. So yeah, if you want to see that, let me know. If you want to see outdoor videos, food reviews, more videos of this nature, hit that subscribe button and join the Southern Woods community. Without further ado, y'all, I will see you in the next video. Southern Woods out.